Hello and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Justyna, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today we are going to explore the very first full moon of 2026 happening on January the 3rd at 13 degrees of Cancer. All right, so here Cancer is a water cardinal sign. Cardinal lunations are action-oriented. Here, first of all, cardinal signs begin each and every season. And also, Cancer is a water sign, so it's fluid. Things are changeable as well during this time. All right, so first of all, if you have any placements at around 13 degrees of Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, or Libra, then you will be under greater influence of this full moon. If your birthday is on the 3rd, happy birthday. This will be a really significant year for you because when a birthday falls on a full moon, then this indicates that we will be ending a phase, a chapter in this solar year. So have a look at your solar return, what's going on, which areas of life are activated to get more insights. All right, so first of all, a full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs. So the full moon is in Cancer while the sun is in Capricorn. The moon is fully illuminated. This is the middle of the cycle. All right, so in the gestation lunar cycle, which lasts 2 years and 7 months, here this full moon connects to the new moon that took place in July 2024. I know it's a way back, but for those who have important placements in the cardinal signs around 13 degrees will probably remember an important story that started, or they might do at least. Think about what seeds you planted, because during a new moon, we plant seeds. We are unsure the direction that our ideas will take. Then we had the first quarter moon in April 2025, first visibility and insights of the seeds we planted back in July 2024. And now in January 2026, we've got a full moon, full clarity, full visibility, and this could be a turning point, change of direction, a peak of a situation you've been dealing with for the last 18 months. A few interesting alignments happening during this time. So first of all, we've got Venus and Mars. Venus and Mars are in opposition to the full moon. They are very, very tightly conjunct the sun. So this is quite interesting because this is pretty much a theme of January. During the new moon in Capricorn, which will take place 2 weeks after this full moon, you will see that there will be also a stellium in Capricorn as well. So this is generally a theme of January 2026. But what happens when a planet is in such close proximity to the sun? It is overpowered by the energy of the sun. January is a very interesting month. We've got a few cazimis, a superior conjunction between the sun and Venus, and with a sun and Mars conjunction as well, sun and Mercury, lots of here new cycles, along with Neptune changing signs as well. But here at the time of this full moon, Venus and Mars are combust. Planet is combust, here a term from traditional astrology, when it is within an 8 degree and 30 minutes from the sun. So here in this case scenario, the sun and the moon are in a very close proximity, weak. So when a planet is combust, it is weak, overpowered by the energy of the sun. So its energy doesn't manifest in the way as it would if it wasn't. So if Mars is the planet of assertion, confidence, drive, and combust Mars could manifest someone feeling fearful, someone feeling anxious, discouraged. And for this reason, a combust Mars can lead to impulsive actions, impulsive decisions. Simply because when we are angry, when Mars is combust, when we are angry, that anger can feel fused with ego. And it can lead to impulsive decisions, impulsive actions, which we might later regret. Now, on the other level, with Venus being combust, so here Venus is connected to grace and charm, beauty, elegance. When Venus is combust, Here its energy is weak, and our desire for love, for harmony can feel overshadowed or conflicted by our ego, by pride, and it can make us act intensely in our relationships, partnerships. So I thought that these were really important energies to discuss. Now, at the same time, we've got actually a positive alignment with the nodes. There is a lovely connection with the North Node in Pisces, which is a trine, yes, water signs, and a sextile to the South Node in Virgo. So, as you can see, there is a karmic destined energy attached to the energy of the full moon. The moon and Cancer combination, the moon is the ruler of Cancer, of course, is connected to the past. This energy, this full moon can make us feel more nostalgic. It can make us think more about the past. And at the same time, this is a good time with the nodal axis being activated to let go of some negative attachments that no longer serve us anymore, especially since it's the beginning of the year. A great time for a personal reinvention as we start all these new cycles with the sextile to the South Node. This is a good time for letting go of any negative patterns connected to self-criticism, perfectionism, for example. All right, so let's see how this full moon will affect each sign. And we will start from Aries. So Aries, welcome. Right, so here this full moon activates your fourth house, the moon in Cancer. So it's all about family, it's all about your roots, where you come from. Now, think about that new moon that initiated this cycle 18 months prior. What new beginnings occurred around that time? What did you start? And here, this full moon could bring some of those intentions, goals, projects to fruition here, connected to your home, connected to that need for comfort, emotional security, stability as well. Now, at the same time here, bear in mind, being an Aries rising, Mars, your ruler, is combust at the time of this full moon. Watch out for any tendencies that could make you feel slightly demotivated or perhaps fearful of the future. If you feel slightly low in energy, try to engage in activities and that can help you to relax, that can help you to find more comfort. So what you might actually enjoy is comfort food, some good food during this time. But it's also connected to a situation, connected to your home, reaching its peak, reaching a turning point. This is also a good time for decluttering, getting rid of things you don't need. Full moons are great for releasing, letting go. Cancerian energy is connected to cellars in the houses. So if you have a cellar, perhaps this could be a good time for reorganizing your resources, for example, jars, if you enjoy preparing jars for the winter season in the Northern Hemisphere, at least it's winter, then this is something you might enjoy doing. This is overall a good time for focusing your energy on your home. There is something that needs to be addressed with the sun in Capricorn. This is a time when you want to move forward with your goals, when you want to move forward with your dreams, but at the same time, the full moon wants you to focus on your foundations. Make sure everything is stable there before you can access those bigger milestones for the future. So thank you very much, Aries. And now let's have a look at Taurus. Taurus, welcome. So here, the first thing that came into my mind is that Venus is combust. So here, this will affect you to a certain extent because it's your chart ruler. So here, if you feel like your needs, your desires are perhaps neglected, overshadowed, don't take it personally. Try to focus on what's important to you without seeking too much external help or support if you feel like it's not available at this time. But overall, this is a very emotional full moon. It is very emotional. It could make you think about the past. Conversations from the past could resurface around this time, needing your attention, needing to be addressed. They could be connected to family related matters, perhaps to your siblings. The third house is connected to siblings. The Cancerian energy is generally connected to family related matters. You might be reaching out to some photo albums. This is a good time for reorganizing your albums if this is something that you enjoy doing. Generally, your words carry a lot of meaning around this time. And this full moon is connected to decision making, mindset shifts as well. Now you've got an opposition to the Sun, of course, and Venus, Mars in the ninth house. This opposition could make you question what you've been holding back. Because at the same time, we've got the nodes. The nodes are activated by a trine and a sextile. They bring clarity. This is a time for speaking what's on your heart without holding back, especially since the opposition to Venus. You might be desiring more love, connection, but Venus is combust at this time. And this could manifest as feeling blocked or frustrated, especially when trying to express love or affection. For this reason, this isn't a good time for making any major life decisions, especially things that you want to do on impulse in a rushed way. Now, this full moon could see you traveling as well. This is a good full moon for learning, for studying, for journaling as well. But here with both Venus and Mars being combust, try to be mindful, especially of how you express your thoughts, how you express your desires. This is a good time for having meaningful and deep conversations. But with Venus and Mars being combust, sometimes you might unconsciously say something that you might later regret. All right, but on a different level here with a full moon in the third house, very often this is a time of some news being delivered to us, some make decisions we are contemplating as well. All right, so Geminis now. Geminis, welcome to your full moon in Gemini horoscope. So this full moon highlights your second house. So think about those new beginnings that began in your life around 18 months prior to this full moon. 2026 is a really interesting year because Uranus is coming here and it will bring major shifts in terms of how you earn, how you spend, how you manage your finances in the upcoming 7 years, more or less. But here, this full moon brings a situation connected to your income, to your financial situation overall to light. This could be a time of major decisions regarding your money situation. Perhaps you might receive some important news, email regarding a job you applied for. Now, at the same time, could be also when you might make an important purchase. Remember, Mars and Venus are in opposition to this full moon, and they are both combust, overpowered by the energy of the sun, which also generally indicates that you should be more conscious with your spendings, outgoings, because Venus and Mars being combust, they are weak and they may manifest in impulse spending, rash decisions, things that perhaps you might later regret. So this full moon could be also connected to a launch. You might be launching a business, a side hustle. Full moons are good for releasing and taking things off the ground overall. We've got a beautiful connection to the nodal axis as well, which actually indicates supportive energy, helping you to see things more clearly, especially when it comes to your future direction, the direction that you're taking. But having said that, full moons in the second house are also good for getting rid of things we don't need, for elimination. All right, so thank you so much. Now, Cancers, welcome to this full moon in Cancer horoscope. So this is an important one for you, of course, because it's happening in your first house of the self, of your identity. And this full moon connects to a story that started in July 2024. The first quarter moon of the cycle was in April 2025. And now here there is a full moon, which is connected to a turning point, a culmination, revelations related to your personal goals, objectives overall. So this full moon is helping you to see things much clearer. This could be connected to your career. This could be connected to some major project, business idea, things that you've been working on for the last 18 months. During this full moon, you become more aware of what's working in your life, what isn't, what needs changing. So it's a good time for personal reinvention, especially since this is the beginning of the year. So you've got the next 12 months of some really important alignments, transits influencing your life even deeper. Now, at the same time, Venus and Mars are combust in your seventh house of relationships. Oppositions are often connected to balance and imbalance. So, if there is something out of balance in your relationship, then it will become quite prominent and visible during this time. Generally, relationships might feel quite intense and emotional. So try to delay making any important decisions, because here Venus being combust could bring a certain degree of dissatisfaction, especially since your emotional needs are really, really important around this time. So it's a good time for reflecting on the patterns that come up around this time without escalating things into something overly serious. Thank you so much. And let's have a look at Leos. Leos, welcome to your full moon in Cancer horoscope. So this one is it's a more of an introspective full moon. It's happening in your 12th house, activating the area of hidden matter, subconscious patterns, and the area of spirituality. It's a full moon that requires a little bit of withdrawal. You might feel like being alone, or you might feel like you want to detach, take time away, or spend time on your own, which is absolutely fine. Those 12 house full moons, generally time alone is needed for you to collect your thoughts, to understand the situations, the relationships, relationship patterns happening in your life. So time alone helps you recharge, gain clarity. This is a good time for detox. This is a good time for accepting the past. Lots of things from the past might resurface around this time, especially since the moon in Cancer, Cancer energy is connected to the past. So you might feel nostalgic about certain people, situations, but also unhealed emotions could resurface situations, giving you a chance for healing, letting go. Make sure that you find time for yourself, because this could be a pretty busy time. Your sixth house is activated fully with the Sun, Mars, Venus, and it's a pretty busy Capricorn season. So this full moon gives you a chance to step away from the external chaos, especially since with the 12th house energies, we tend to absorb external energy easily. Give yourself a chance to take a break, give yourself a chance to detach, because this will really help you to gain clarity and to recharge your energies for the upcoming season, especially since February, we're starting a brand new series of eclipses on Aquarius and Leo axis. So this is a life-changing year for you, this and next year with the eclipses. And then in July, the nodes are shifting into this area of your life. So try to delay making any abruptive, sudden decisions. Take time to yourself. And let's have a look at the Virgos. Thank you very much. Virgos, welcome. Welcome to your full moon in Cancer horoscope. So this full moon activates your area of friendships, groups you belong to, long-term goals, long-term dreams, long-term plans for the future. Full moons generally help us understand what wasn't clear, what felt confusing. This could be about an eye-opening full moon when you find out that perhaps someone that you considered a friend is not someone that you can trust. And this could be when some connections might dissolve and you'll be making space for more aligned connections to come to your reality. This could be connected to a departure from a certain group, but on a different level. This could be related to a completion of a major group project, perhaps some new opportunities coming through groups, friendships, networking. It's a good time for getting yourself out there, joining perhaps some networking situations. This full moon makes you generally think deeper about the people you surround yourself with. Also, you might be reconnecting with someone you haven't seen for quite some time. The Cancerian energy is connected to the past, the moon as well, moon in Cancer, and you seek nurturing connections during this time. And this isn't a time to have too high expectations of others, because Venus, the planet of grace, charm, relationships, is combust, overpowered by the energy of the sun. If you have too high expectations of others, it could lead to a possible misunderstanding. So perhaps try to engage in something fun, creative during this time. Create a vision map, for example, to help you navigate these energies. Because of course, this full moon also activates your South Node in Virgo, North Node. So it also helps you release those negative patterns connected to self-criticism, being overly perfectionist, for example. And this full moon could help you understand what kind of people, what kind of connections are beneficial for your growth or beneficial for overall well-being. This full moon could also strengthen a connection that feels aligned. So thank you very much. Now, so Libras, welcome to your full moon in Cancer horoscope. So here, this full moon activates your 10th house. It's a very important full moon of the year. It activates an angular 10th house, which is a strong house connected to your life direction, your career, your public image, public reputation. So it's a meaningful time, a turning point, if you will, in your career. And now think about what you started, what you initiated around 18 months prior to this full moon. So that would take us to the new moon that took place in July 2024. Then we had another important development of this cycle in April 2025, and a full moon brings it all up to the surface. We gain clarity, it's a momentum. It could be a momentum for some Libras, a time of recognition, definitely greater visibility with the full moon being fully illuminated during this time. The moon is strong in Cancer, very, very strong in fact, because it rules Cancer. But at the same time, this could be a turning point in your career. This could be a time of visibility, opportunities as well. We've got a lovely connection with the nodes as well, sextile to Virgo and a trine to Pisces North Node. So this can really help you to also let go of any expectations, perhaps goals that seem either too superficial or unrealistic. And this full moon helps you to align with a path that's more in alignment with your inner sense of self, but simultaneously, your ruler Venus is combust. Be gentle with yourself, because Venus isn't strong throughout the month of January, which can also manifest in feeling perhaps not feeling heard, or perhaps feeling slightly overshadowed by external influences, for example, which could create intensity in your interactions with others. So if you feel frustrated, if you feel perhaps slightly discouraged every now and then, try to engage in activity that helps you to kind of give you that little boost of positive energy. So thank you so much, Libras. And now Scorpios, welcome to your full moon in Cancer horoscope. So this full moon activates your 9th house. The 9th house deals with anything to do with foreign people that inspire us, like coaches, mentors, for instance. And the 9th house deals with astrology. So perhaps you might be finishing a course of study or an important phase in your astrology journey. This could be about launching a business, in coaching, mentoring. This could be also connected to a legal case or some passport applications. Full moons are connected to turning points, things being taken off the ground. Full moon is fully visible during this phase. So it's not like a new moon when things are not visible. The moon is not visible. We don't know what's happening, which direction we are heading. Here the energies are very, very different. So think about those new beginnings that occurred in this area of your life around 18 months prior. That will be July 2024. So what did you start? What did you initiate? A new course of study? Perhaps it was a major turning point in your life direction. This full moon turns your attention to the area connected to personal growth, personal development as well, mindset shifts. Perhaps you might be traveling around this time, or you might be launching a business or publishing a book. Whatever the scenario, we've got Venus and Mars combust at this time, which could also amplify that intensity in your close relationships, especially since Venus rules your 7th house. But also Scorpio is ruled traditionally by Mars. So you might generally be easily emotionally triggered around this time. So try to keep your emotions balanced if you can. This isn't a time to take any impulsive decisions. Think things through, go with the flow, engage in activities that help you grow. This is a time of growth. Whatever we do in the 9th house, it can positively influence our public life, our career life as well. Thank you very much, Sagittarius. Welcome to your full moon in Cancer horoscope. This full moon activates your 8th house, the house of depth, transformation, deep energies, profound emotions as well. This is the house of shared resources, emotional currents as well. The moon in Cancer, this is the sign of its rulership, a very strong placement for the moon in Cancer. The moon in Cancer can be slightly nostalgic as well. It can bring some past situations up to the surface, especially those emotions, feelings, financial, emotional entanglements that need resolution, that need to be healed, that need to be resolved and released. Now, at the same time, this could be connected to also letting go, releasing any emotional or even financial debt that you've been carrying for quite some time, or some responsibilities, obligations. This is the point of a release, letting go of heaviness, whether this is something connected to your energies, emotions, financial matters. So there is a moment of transformation, regeneration happening as well. Venus and Mars are combust, so they are weak. They are weak because they are overpowered by the energy of the sun, which could generally manifest as, well, a feeling of demotivation or a slight frustration to a certain degree. For example, Venus rules your sixth house. So if you feel slightly unproductive during this time, if you're experiencing some tension at your work, or if you're experiencing some creative blockages, try to engage in a physical activity and release the excess of negative energy. This can really help with an easier flow of energy. All right, so thank you very much. Sagittarius. All right, so Capricorns, welcome to your full moon in Cancer horoscope. This full moon activates your seventh house, so that's your relationships, contracts, one-to-one connections overall. We've got a opposition to the sun, of course, Venus and Mars in Capricorn, tightly aligned with the sun. So this is your season. You feel more alive than, of course, in Sagittarius season, without a doubt. But at the same time here, your partnerships, relationships are highlighted during this time. This is generally about a situation that could be connected to a situation that will need your attention, that will need to be addressed. Think about the new moon that initiated this cycle, the new moon in Cancer that took place in July 2024. Then we had the first quarter moon of that cycle in April 2025. Can you connect the dots? Can you connect a story that is going to reach a turning point during this full moon, connected to your relationships, connected to your marriage, business partnerships, an important friendship, or a client relationship in your life? Now, Venus and Mars are combust, overpowered by the energy of the sun, so they are weak. Venus is usually connected to grace and balance, harmony, but when Venus is overshadowed by the energy of the sun, it can manifest as feeling overshadowed, or as if our desires are not met. Mars combust can create fear or frustration even. This isn't a time for making any rushed, impulsive, ego-driven decision, because here Mars and Venus being combust can intensify our tendency towards impulsive actions and decisions that we might later regret. So overall, having said that, generally this full moon could also help you see what's working, what isn't in these important relationships in your life. It's a good time for having these significant, deep conversations here under the influence of Cancerian full moon. Our emotions are very much intensified, but also we might act more defensively than usual. So for this reason, it's essential to be conscious of how you communicate, how you express your thoughts, how you deliver your message. So thank you very much. Now, Aquarius, welcome to your Cancer horoscope. This full moon activates your sixth house. And the sixth house deals with your everyday life, your lifestyle, anything to do with self-improvement, health. This is a good time for having health checkups. Now, full moons are not good for surgeries or some major treatments. Full moons are good for healing. So if you recently had a treatment done, then full moon usually is a peak of the healing process. And after the full moon, I usually think the healing process speeds up. That's often the case as we move toward the new moon. That's on the side note. But overall, this full moon could bring to light what's working and what isn't in your daily reality, what blocks that sense of achievement, productivity on daily basis, where structure is lacking in your daily reality. So here, this is an opportunity for restoring the necessary balance between your work life and your inner life. Of course, we've got Capricorn in your 12th house. The sun is tightly aligned with Venus and Mars, which is very much the theme of January overall. And Mars and Venus are combust. So they are weak, overpowered by the energies of the sun, which overall could bring a certain degree of, for some, not for everyone, but it could manifest as frustration in relationships or more intensified, more amplified intensity when it comes to our interactions with others. And the moon in Cancer is very strong. It can make you feel more nostalgic, perhaps, about how things used to be, if you feel like things were more organized, or perhaps you might be reconnecting with people that you used to work with. This full moon is prompting you to change your approach to how you do things. If you feel like generally your lifestyle is kind of out of balance, this full moon could also make you think about your diet. You might be starting a new wellness routine, restructuring your lifestyle, completing a major project as well. Perhaps this could be also when, if you have a housekeeper or a babysitter, they might resign and you will be finding someone more aligned. We also have a lovely connection with the nodes that trine to the North Node in Pisces, a South Node. So overall here, a good time for restructuring your daily routine, for looking into your diet, your exercise regime as well. So it's all about your day-to-day activities. So thank you very much. And Pisces, welcome to your full moon in Cancer horoscope. This full moon activates your fifth house, the house of happiness, joy, pleasure, entertainment, children, romance. So it's a beautiful full moon. The moon in Cancer is comfortable and strong. So you might be reconnecting with some hobbies, interests, projects from the past that made you feel generally happy from the emotional sense. The moon in Cancer often makes us nostalgic, more nostalgic than usual, often makes us think of the past. So with the full moon in Cancer, you might feel like you want to reconnect with passions, hobbies, interests that once brought a lot of comfort into your life. Now, at the same time, your intuition is very high during this time. It's a great time also for doing things that bring the inner peace, the inner balance into your life. Venus and Mars are combust, overpowered by the energy of the sun in the opposing house, in the 11th house. So, what does it mean? They are weak. The way Venus can manifest is sometimes with Venus being combust, we feel like our desires are not met. So, generally, in the context of this full moon, anything that perhaps isn't working in your personal relationship, it might be much easier to understand and feel during this time, which is a good time also for having these honest conversations. But at the same time, the full moon in Cancer can make us more defensive. So, also pay attention to how you communicate, to how you share your message, to how you communicate. So Mars combust can make you obsessively inspired, eager to engage in some passionate project. But if you feel like things are not working the way you want, or perhaps you're not getting the desired results, try to take a different approach. Don't force yourself, don't force the outcomes, because it might lead to undesired results. So thank you so much and all the best.